What is going on, guys? Today we're doing episode 2 of Top RuneScape Facts. If you guys liked the video, drop a like. If you want to be entered to win 5 mil, comment your RuneScape name and your favorite fact in the video. We're going to be giving away 5 mil to 3 random people that comment in the comment section below. Enjoy the video, guys. Number 10. Tim and Crunchy. For a long time after RuneScape 2 was released, these guys were the face of RuneScape. Crunchy the Skeleton and Tim the Warrior. They were the main characters for a lot of RuneScape wallpapers back in the day, but perhaps what they're most famous for were holding the high and low detail signs that used to be presented as an option to you before you would choose what world you wanted to play in. Basically, all these options did was decide whether or not you wanted ground decorations to be visible or invisible. Before they held the detail signs, these guys were their predecessors, but unfortunately were never given names. Today I found out something cool about them, however, that's quite interesting. They do actually exist in RuneScape. They are in RS3 and did exist briefly in Old School. Each year in Old School, Jagex hosts a birthday party event for the game. Within the Falador party room in 2017 as well as 2018, if you're a true veteran of the game, you may have noticed Tim and Crunchy present at the party room. The area they're standing in is the infamous backdrop for the Old School Skeleton and Warrior wallpaper. They've even included the iconic RuneScape fire braziers and secret passageway that everyone knows and loves from the RuneScape login background. I surely did enjoy this RuneScape birthday event. Number 9. On October 18th, 2001, 16 years ago, a preview was leaked by Andrew Gower on what RuneScape 2's graphics would look like. The first thing you'll probably notice was RuneScape 2 was supposed to have a sky. More specifically, a skybox around the world, meaning the draw distance where you normally see a black background before the world loads into today's RuneScape would be drastically increased with no black background. If you look beyond this building, you can see the trees are rendered even though they're far away. Jagex could probably get away with this back then to save data usage, as it was normal during the early 2000s to only receive 15 to 20 frames per second, even when playing RuneScape Classic. If today the skybox and draw distance features were planned as they were originally supposed to be, obviously more modern machines could run those settings. It would make for some cool, smooth graphics today. Number 8. You remember that zombie dance emote? Well, it's identical to the dance Michael Jackson did in his zombie-filled song Thriller. Does Jagex secretly admire Michael Jackson? Number 7. So everybody knows to make a dragon square shield, you first need to have the left shield half and the right shield half. But have you ever looked at the pieces in your inventory and imagined what they'd actually make if you crop their pictures together? They'd actually make a kite shield, not a dragon square shield. Good one, Jagex. Number 6. Back when membership was first released in RuneScape Classic, there was really no link between paying and automatically becoming a member. Andrew Gower used to literally have to manually give player accounts membership status by PMing them in-game and asking them to log out, and continuing to edit their player's save file for when they log back in. Number 5. Back when RuneScape Classic's magic skill was split into 2 categories being good magic and evil magic, you could find from various monsters what was called a life rune. These runes were going to be a counterpart to the death rune, and also were originally going to be used for necromancy, or well, what we know today as summoning. If you examine the life rune, all it would say is used for summon spell. Today in RS3 you can take part in a quest called the Gower Quest that was released in celebration of RuneScape's 15th year birthday. In the quest you can obtain a life rune and come across an altar, but you cannot craft the life runes on it. The examined text of the life rune itself says the legendary rune appears to be true, but how did it end up here? The life rune is just one of many items that were planned to be a part of RuneScape's legacy, but never quite made it. Number 4. So if you look at my weight right now, you'll see all the pickaxes I wear have weight to them. Well, you know how you can't make black armor, tools, weapons, etc. using the smithing skill? Well, if you check the weight of the black pickaxe, they're actually weightless. They weigh nothing, which could be useful if doing runecrafting in the Abyss, mining S, or doing something that has a lot of running. Number 3. The tutorial island trees have never been updated, at least I don't think. If any of you played RuneScape 2 back in 2004 to 2005, you'll remember that the trees used to have a very dark brown tree trunk. But today, they have light brown tree trunks instead. Tutorial Island for some reason is an exception though. Their trees after all these years still have the very dark tree trunks on them that they had back in 2004 to 2005. Since I actually played back then, I thought this was pretty interesting. Number 2. Have you ever wondered just what's inside of the chests downstairs within the Varrock West Bank behind that locked gate? This has driven myself and I'm sure a lot of players crazy with curiosity over the years. And now we finally have an answer thanks to Mod Ronin. Inside the chest, you will find max cash. All of you who suspected this were right all along. This just makes me wonder what else all the banks in RuneScape are hiding behind the counter. And finally, number 1. Necromancy and summoning are actually still referenced in old school RuneScape. If you speak to Malignius Mortifer south of Falador, he will tell you about his disciples and then about himself. He says he is a master of a branch of magic that few dare to attempt, necromancy. This is a reference to a part of the magic skill that was never released in RuneScape Classic. But if you continue the dialogue, you will eventually have the option to ask Malignius if this is like summoning. Then he will respond the obscure magical art of necromancy has nothing to do with summoning. Then he continues to say perhaps one day as humans we'll learn to summon creatures at our side. Old school RuneScape is set at the 2007 version of RuneScape, 1 year before summoning was released in 2008 version. I assume this conversation you can have with him was placed in RuneScape 2 a year before summoning was released, not on accident either. I deem that it was just a nice Easter egg. Man, I'm glad Jagex chose 2007 instead of 2008 RuneScape.